Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals radical difference. This is not a motivational quote. It's a mathematical formula that can quietly change your life without applause, without lightning bolts, without anyone noticing, until one day everything is different. Hello, dear listener. Welcome to the Gentle Night. I'm Nazy Entezari, and tonight, under the gentle hush of your soul's quietest hours, I'm bringing you a book that changed how I breathe through my days. One of those books that isn't loud or dramatic, but echoes through your life like a soft whisper that never fades. Let me tell you the story of The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, as if I'm sitting across from you, holding a cup of tea, just sharing something beautiful that I wish someone had told me sooner. It all started with a simple realization. I wasn't failing, but I wasn't winning either. I was stuck in that comfortable, deadly place called average. I kept trying to find the big break, the perfect plan, the miracle habit. And then I read something that felt like a mirror I'd forgotten existed. Success is earned in the moment-to-moment decisions we make every single day. Darren Hardy opens this book with a simple truth. There is no magic bullet, no overnight success, no hack that will fix your life, only small, smart choices made consistently over time. That's it. That's the compound effect. And it's not just an idea, it's the law. We often underestimate the power of the tiny things. One extra glass of water, one skipped dessert, 10 pages of reading a night, 5 minutes of gratitude in the morning. They seem insignificant, but Hardy shows us how these little things stack, how they build momentum, and how they ultimately determine the course of your life. He tells a story I'll never forget. You're given two options. Take $3 million in cash right now, or take a single penny that doubles every day for 31 days. Most people take the money, but that humble penny, by day 31, is worth over $10 million. That's the power of the compound effect. And here's the trap. When we start, we see no reward. We eat one healthy meal, nothing changes. We skip one workout, still look the same. So we think it doesn't matter. But it does. Everything matters. Because the invisible results are still being built behind the curtain of time. Hardy explains how your life is a direct reflection of your daily habits, not your dreams, not your goals, but the tiny, boring, consistent things you do when no one's watching. Brushing your teeth, tracking your spending, showing up 5 minutes early, saying I love you, drinking water, stretching, saving $5, waking up when you said you would. These are the bricks that build an extraordinary life. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. If you don't track it, you can't improve it. Hardy insists on tracking everything. What you eat, how much you move, how you spend, how you speak to yourself. It's tedious, yes, but it's the only way to make the invisible visible. There's a part of the book that hit me hard. Hardy says most people live by default, not by design. We drift. we get swept up in habits we didn't choose. So he encourages us to take radical ownership, not just to take responsibility, but to own every part of our life. Where we are, how we got here, what we do next. He talks about something called the ripple effect. Every action creates a ripple, either positive or negative. One small act of courage repeated daily can build a ripple of transformation. Likewise, one small indulgence, unchecked, becomes a habit, a pattern, a trap. And then he introduces something called the big mo. Momentum. The hardest part is the beginning. Pushing a boulder from stillness takes enormous energy. But once it starts rolling, the effort decreases and the motion sustains itself. It's true with health, with learning, with love, with business. If you can just push through the slow, thankless early days, momentum will carry you farther than motivation ever could. Hardy reminds us that choices are at the root of every result, and most of our choices are unconscious. So the key is to wake up, to start noticing. Notice how you respond when you're stressed. Notice what you reach for when you're tired. Notice what you say to yourself when you fail, because those little choices become who you are. He invites us to install a system of accountability. Tell someone your goals, track your habits, review your progress, not because it's trendy, but because your future depends on it. There's one story in the book that never left me. Darren talks about two friends. All three start in similar places. One makes a few small changes, cuts out 125 calories a day. Another stays the same. The third starts watching more TV, indulging a little more. 5 months pass, no noticeable difference. 10 months, still nothing dramatic. But after 31 months, the differences are massive. The first is in great shape, full of energy, with a stronger marriage. The second is unchanged. The third is overweight, unhappy, and frustrated. And it all started with those invisible choices. Hardy doesn't just focus on habits, he also dives deep into your environment. Who you surround yourself with matters. He says, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That shook me. If the people around you normalize excuses, fear, or mediocrity, you're breathing that air. So find people who challenge you, inspire you, stretch you. Create an environment that pulls you toward your best self. One of my favorite parts is where Hardy talks about the power of why. If you don't have a deep reason for what you're doing, you'll quit. You need a why that's stronger than your excuses. Something emotional, something real. Not just, I want to be rich, but I want to prove to myself that I am capable of freedom and contribution. He asks us to visualize our future in detail. Where are you in 5 years if nothing changes? Where could you be if you applied the compound effect every single day? Because the truth is, You are always making progress, either toward your best life or away from it. There is no neutral. The compound effect is always in motion. The question is, which direction is it taking you? Hardy also introduces the concept of bookending your day. Start your morning with intention. End your night with reflection. These bookends shape the story that gets written between them. He emphasizes consistency over intensity. Anyone can go hard for a week, but can you show up with gentle discipline every day? Can you trust the slow burn instead of chasing the next shortcut? This book doesn't offer hype. It offers hope. Not the kind that lifts you in a burst, but the kind that steadies your feet on the ground and says, keep walking, you're building something beautiful. And maybe that's the most powerful part of the compound effect. It teaches you to fall in love with the process, to take pride in the quiet victories, to know that every time you choose the salad over the burger, every time you read instead of scroll, every time you take the stairs instead of the elevator, you're casting a vote for the person you are becoming. So here I am telling you, not because I am a productivity coach or a discipline expert, but because I've lived it. I've felt the slow shift. I've seen the light pour in through the cracks I didn't know I was making. This book changed how I talk to time, how I sit with effort, how I honor the small. It's not glamorous, but it's real, and it works. If this story touched your heart or gave you something to hold on to, please support my work by subscribing to this channel, The Gentle Knight. This is where I share books that changed me, in the hope that they change you too. If you like this episode, leave a comment, press like, and share it with someone who's walking their own quiet journey. And remember, sometimes the softest voice can echo the loudest, especially at night. With love, Nazy Entezari. The Gentle Knight